Have you ever heard someone say boys will be boys? It is such a family phrase that many of us barely stop to think about what it really means. But imagine if two celebrities are making a similar mistake. One is a man and the other is a woman. Would we necessarily react to them in exactly the same way? Or would we give both of them the same understanding of what gender influences our judgment? So research on gender stereotypes show that people often develop different expectations from men and women, and this expectation can influence how behavior is interpreted. So today, I want to persuade you to do something simple. Challenge the double standard behind the phrase, boys will be boys. So first, we need to recognize what a double standard is. A double standard happens when similar behavior is judged differently depending on who does it. So, for example, a boy who is loud or confident might sometimes be described as playful or simply being a boy. However, a girl displaying similar behavior might be called rude, difficult, or told that she should know better. Of course, not every situation is like this, and not everyone judges people differently. However, it is important to ask ourselves whether we are judging the behavior itself or reacting to the person's gender. So, second, we need to question gender-based excuses. The phrase boys will be boys may sound harmless, but sometimes it can be used to excuse behavior that will be criticized if someone else did the same thing. Understanding why someone behaves a certain way is not the same as excusing the behavior. Instead of saying he is a boy, that's just how boys are, we should ask, was the behavior appropriate? The question is fairer because boys can learn from their mistakes, girls can make mistakes, and everyone should be accountable for their actions. Gender should not determine whether behavior is excused or criticized. Finally, how can we respond differently? So we can begin with 3 simple steps. Notice, question, and apply the same standard. First, notice statements such as boys will be boys or girls should know better. Second, question the assumption behind those words. Ask yourself, would I react the same way if the gender were reversed? Finally, apply the same standard to everyone by focusing on what actually happened rather than making assumptions based on gender. At the end of the day, this is not about being harder on boys or easier on girls. It is about being fair to everyone. The next time you hear the phrase boys will be boys, I encourage you not to simply accept it. Pause and question the assumption behind it. Ask yourself, would I judge the behavior differently if the gender were reversed? Because the standard should stay the same, even the gender changes. Judge the action, not the gender.